Hey guys, I'm getting some people showing up for sessions who are experiencing what is being called infertility. So I thought to share this old story way back in the day when I first started doing sessions in my garage for $50 of a woman who came to me one day, total non-believer, who in her early 30s could not conceive. And I was the last ditch effort before they were going to an infertility clinic the next day. Now, Western medicine told her that she had a misshapen uterus, and that was the reason that she couldn't conceive. So I dropped in, and immediately I saw 3 souls that had come in and then left, basically. So I asked her, Spirit showed me 1 and 2, or 2 and 1. So I understood that and very uncomfortably asked her, have you had an abortion and some miscarriages, either 2 miscarriages and an abortion or the opposite? And that's when she was like, whoa, what's going on here? She stopped crossing her arms and, became curious. And so she shared with me, yes, I had 1 abortion and 2 fairly recent miscarriages. And I, guided by Spirit, asked, well, what did you do to heal that? What did you do to heal the loss? And she shared, well, with the abortion, I was super young. I was in no position to have a baby. And I so it didn't really affect me. And I haven't really thought about it. And I was like, well, the energy of not just that, the one who would have been a child is there, but all 3 of them. And that energy, to make a long story short, the energy is density being held in your uterus. And as I was, wasn't understanding, but as I was explaining, suddenly Spirit, not physically, etherically, brought her into this circle of spirit. So there were spirits surrounding her and she was in the center. And then, and this was one of my very first experiences with mediumship, this woman stepped forward, who showed us, there's not gender on the other side, but she showed, in order for the client to understand who she was, she stepped forward as a woman and said that she was her mother. And so I said, oh, your mom's on the other side? And she said, yeah, why? And I said, well, she just stepped forward. And then a grandmother stepped forward, her mother. And then a man who was her brother stepped forward. So all 3 of them from the other side stepped forward from the circle. And the mother, I had to say, is it okay that she's here, steps forward, all the stuff. So the mother steps forward and takes one of those souls, the aborted soul, I hope this isn't hard for people, by the hand. And then suddenly the client turned into her uterus became large enough for them, basically turned into like a bedroom. And the soul that was a child had they all had these little suitcases, these little mini suitcases. And the grandmother started having basically that child clean its room out. So clean the debris, the energetic debris of the unhealed stuff in there, and the resonance, a bit of the resonance of that soul's imprint was still there. All 3 of them, one by one, they all did the same thing. And when they were done cleaning their rooms, we, myself and Spirit and the loved ones on the other side, kind of hosed down her uterus to make sure everything was out and ready to go, which was phenomenal. Of course, in this space, it's like, yeah, of course, we're in a uterus, getting children out of here and things like this. Totally normal. And anyway, phenomenal, right, to witness. And then those 3 ones that would have been the children came to this side, and the mother and the grandmother and the brother went back in line in the circle. And now the 3 souls that would have been called children said that their mission, which was always the plan. So it was always the plan that they wouldn't come, full term and into being called her children. their mission intentionally was to usher in three children that would come into the physical form. Mind-blowing. So when I was sharing this with her, she's like, I'm going to have 3 kids. And I was like, well, that's what they're saying. I mean, that's what, they're preparing for. We didn't know or ask, is it all 3 coming at once? Are they coming? It didn't matter to her. But that information wasn't being given. Anyway, it was the most beautiful thing. They explained a whole bunch of things. And then the next day, I'm going to end that part there. The next day, she and her husband indeed went to the fertility clinic, had a new scan and test done, and she no longer had a misshapen uterus. She had her first child within that first year, so shortly after. And the last that I had heard some years ago, she had 3 children. So the reason I tell you this story today, as it have been sharing with people in session, is because even if it does, it's different for every single person, but even if it does look like a physical thing going on or an inability to conceive or carry, what I know is the potential to be able to, clear things and heal things in order to make the space for a child there's a strong potential for that. And I know there's a lot of people coming in that there's no physical reason why they can't conceive, but they still aren't. And what I know about this now from the ones who have not yet come in, who I've been communing with soul to soul, is that and this has been true for the last 2 years, there are very specific conditions that these high-level beings that are coming in require. There needs to be healing and alignment and, energetic space it's unique to each person. So I can't give blanket statements, but they require, because they're coming here for some really big reasons. It's the most beautiful thing to know, makes my hair stand, but things are different now. There's, I don't want to go on and on about it, but if you're interested in more, hit me up or come into a session. I'm sure everyone knows someone that struggles with, not being able to have children, or they're trying very, very hard and they keep getting their heart broken, which is why I'm coming on to share this. There's a unique soul level reason and realignment necessary and real intention that is needed in order to hold the space for these beings that are coming, because they're coming here for heavy work, for big, big stuff. And they can't really be slowed down by a lot of childhood trauma and things like this. So they're making sure things are aligned before making an appearance. I'm going to leave it at that. I hope that was helpful. And thank you.